Alright guys, so what we're doing today is we're talking about how to calculate the volume of a sphere. So let me fill in some of these things up above, which you already have filled in. So the formula, as we learned, is 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. There we go, which we can also see right here, 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. So again, just as we've done before, we're just going to start every single time by drawing and labeling a picture. Second step, we're going to write a formula. Third step, substitute in values for the variables that we know, and then we're going to circle our final answer. So the exact same thing we've been doing with all these other shapes, just with a slightly different formula. So first thing, it wants us to calculate the volume of the sphere. Well, first step is draw and label my picture. I've already got the drawn and labeled picture, so that is complete. Now step 2, write the formula. Well, as we just saw, the formula is volume is equal to 4/3, or 4/3, times pi times the radius cubed. Now we just plug in the values that we know. We don't know the volume, we do know the radius, and it is 4. So I put 4 in for the radius. So I say volume is equal to 4/3 times pi times the radius, which is 4, cubed. Please remember that it is cubed for spheres, not squared. And now I just simply solve through. So I say volume is equal to 4/3 pi times, well, 4 cubed is 4 times 4 times 4, which is 16, times 4, which is 64. So 4 cubed is 64. So 4/3 times pi times 64. Now I am going to use the calculator here. Just in case you're not sure how to actually calculate that in here, I'm going to say 4/3, which is 4 divided by 3. Great. Times pi, which is 3.14, as we know, times 64. I just plugged all of these things in. And I got 267.946 repeating, so I'm going to round up to 0.95. So I get volume is equal to 267.95. 267.95 centimeters cubed, because it's a three-dimensional shape. Now, one thing I want you to see is that we can actually do this in a slightly different order also. If you're not a big fan of the 4/3 thing, you can do this. 4 times 3.14 times 64 divided by 3. I get the same thing. So you can actually do this where you say, get rid of this here, where in order to calculate this, we can say the volume is equal to 4 times pi times 64 all divided by 3. So then it's very similar to finding the volume of a cone. If you recall, in order to find the volume of a cone, we were taking the pi times the radius squared times the height and dividing by 3. This is just 4 times pi times the radius cubed times height. It's always going to be 4 up here in this case. So now that we've got that, let's come down and try this one. The average basketball has a diameter of 9.5 inches. What is the volume of an average basketball? Round to the nearest tenths place. Well, my first step, as I always know, I'm going to come over here and say, well, I need to draw and label my picture. I'm going to draw a really kind of bad basketball here. Now, I know that the diameter for this basketball is 9.5. But I don't need that. And I'm going to see that in a moment because I've drawn and labeled my picture. I'm going to write 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. Now, I don't need my diameter. I need my radius. And I know that the radius is half of the diameter. Well, what's half of 9.5? It is 4.75. 4.75. So, and again, just in case you weren't sure how to do that, I say 9.5 divided by 2 in order to find half of it, 4.75. So now I say I need to substitute in the values I know. I don't know volume. 4/3 is 4/3. Pi is pi. And the radius we just found is 4.75 cubed. Now this is really easy. I simply plug all these things in and I say, okay, 4.75 times 4.75 times 4.75. So that's 4.75 cubed because I did it 3 times. And then I do, great, that times 3.14 times 4 divided by 3. And I get that the volume of an average basketball is a pretty obnoxious number. It's 448.692916. But I remember it wants me to round to the nearest tenths place. So I look at what this says. Well, this is a 9, so the 6 is going to turn into a 7. So I say 448.7 inches cubed. And again, none of this is particularly difficult. All you end up doing is plugging in your values to this exact same formula over and over again.